Your destiny depends on who you choose to let into your life, who you allow to surround you in everyday life. These are not just random people, but those who have a significant impact on your outlook, life choices, and even your inner state. The ancient Stoics, such as Epictetus and Seneca, perfectly understood that our environment plays a much more important role than it might seem at first glance. They argued that our environment is an extension of ourselves, it reflects our beliefs and even shapes our future. After all, oddly enough, close people can either support us, raising us to higher levels of personal development, or drag us down, hindering our progress. The Stoics warned that the choice of people with whom we spend time is vital to our well-being. Epictetus once said that it is necessary to talk about the topic of who elevates us, who inspires us to be the best versions of ourselves. It is communication on a topic whose presence improves our qualities and helps to reveal potential, which is a key factor in personal growth. This statement became an important principle that migrated into modern psychology, and today it can be found in the form of the popular concept that we are the arithmetic average of the 5 people with whom we spend most of our time. This thought has a deep meaning. People around us are able to exert such a strong influence that they can either improve our life or, on the contrary, destroy it. You probably noticed that if you communicate with negative people, your mood also worsens. If you are surrounded by positive, ambitious, and purposeful people, you become more successful and self-confident. We cannot ignore this important aspect. Our social circle directly affects our success and happiness. Today we offer to look at this idea through the lens of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that taught us to manage our emotions, accept things that are beyond our control, and find peace in difficult life situations. In this context, you should carefully review your relationships with others and understand who in your environment contributes to your progress and who, on the contrary, hinders it. We will discuss 7 types of people who can get in the way of your Stoic path, and we will analyze why it is so important to reconsider your friendships with such people. But before we start, I would like to ask you to subscribe to our channel. This is really important for us, as your support allows us to continue to spread the ideas of Stoicism, help more people find inner balance and resilience in the face of life's difficulties. Do not forget to activate the bell to receive notifications about new videos and not to miss interesting episodes in which we analyze various aspects of the philosophy of Stoicism and its application in the modern world. So, let's start with the first type of people to avoid: mourners. Each of us probably has at least one friend who constantly complains about everything around him. Whether it's bad weather, a bad day at work, food in a restaurant, or even relationships with other people, such people always find reasons for dissatisfaction. They do not miss a single opportunity to share their negativity, and this gradually drains your patience and internal resources. These complaints can be compared to dripping water from a poorly closed faucet. At first, it may seem like a minor irritation, but over time, constant exposure begins to slowly but surely drain your strength. The negativity of such people is like poison that penetrates your consciousness, and you yourself begin to focus on problems instead of looking for solutions. For example, imagine that you are working on an important project, and your colleague constantly complains about complexity, failures, or the external world. Each meeting with him turns into an exhausting session, where all attention is paid not to the search for solutions, but to the discussion of how everything is bad. Soon you notice that communication with such a person reduces your enthusiasm and motivation, and the project begins to slip. Instead of looking for effective solutions, you immerse yourself in negativity, and this can lead to disappointment not only in the project, but also in life as a whole. So how can Stoicism help you deal with mourners? The Stoics offer several strategies. First, if possible, reduce communication with such a person. After all, the environment has a powerful influence on our emotional state, and if someone constantly brings negativity into your life, you should reconsider your relationship with him. However, if it is impossible to completely exclude this person from your life, for example, if it is a family member or a colleague, then the second option is to mentally distance yourself. Consider their mourning as a temporary phenomenon, like a storm that passes by. It may be loud and unpleasant, but in the end, everything will subside and you will return to your inner peace. Do not let someone else's negativity destroy your harmony, and try to gently but confidently turn the conversation into another, more positive direction. Sometimes simply offering a practical solution instead of an emotional discussion of problems can radically change the atmosphere of communication. The second type of people to avoid are drama magnets. These people are always immersed in some new crisis. Their lives are constantly filled with conflicts and unresolved problems. Their energy pulls you into the vortex of their worries, and over time you begin to feel that their problems become yours. Gradually, you may find yourself involved in conflicts that initially did not concern you, and this greatly prevents you from focusing on your own tasks and goals. To deal with such people, you should use the technique of reflective listening. This means that instead of giving advice or taking someone's side, it is best to paraphrase their words and thereby show that you hear and understand them, but do not get involved in their drama. For example, if your friend complains about someone, you can say, "So you feel betrayed?" This will help to provide support, but at the same time will not involve you in unnecessary conflicts. The third type of people are skeptics. Imagine that you are an artist painting a bright canvas. Each stroke of the brush adds liveliness to your creation, but a skeptic appears, and with each of his criticisms, your canvas becomes more and more dull. These people will always find something to complain about, be it the choice of color or the idea itself. Their words can sow doubts in you, and over time you will begin to doubt your abilities. In order to deal with such people, offer them a constructive dialogue, ask them to share their opinion on how the situation can be improved, instead of just criticizing. This will help switch their attention from negative to positive proposals and show that you are open to constructive criticism, but not ready to accept baseless accusations. The fourth type of people are eternal victims. The fourth type is people who always play the role of the victim. They tend to blame external circumstances, other people, or even fate itself for all their problems. There is no personal responsibility for them. Their life is a constant series of unlucky ones, and they will never miss an opportunity to complain about how unlucky they are. Unlike people who really experience difficult life situations and look for solutions, eternal victims use their difficulties as an excuse for inaction. Such people tend to surround themselves with excuses and are ready to blame anything but themselves. It can be the work environment, bad relations with colleagues, the weather, global problems, or even politicians in their picture of the world. There is always something or someone who works against them. But the key difference here is that these people do not take any steps to change their lives and prefer to remain in the role of a victim rather than act. Stoicism teaches us the importance of taking personal responsibility for our lives. This is what allows us to move forward and overcome difficulties. How to cope with the eternal sacrifice. First, it is important to remember that pity for such people and the desire to save them can be counterproductive. If you constantly support their excuses, you will only reinforce their role as a victim. Instead, it's important to focus on your own steps you can take to avoid their influence on your life. Do not let their mourning consume you and shape your outlook on life. After all, if you start to perceive their problems as your own, you risk ending up in the same trap. Try to gently and diplomatically guide them to the realization that many difficulties can be solved through action, not through mourning. This can be an impetus for them to change their thinking, but if they stubbornly continue to remain in the role of the victim, you may need to limit communication with them. The fifth type of people to avoid are toxic positivists. These are the people who always tell you be happy, think positive, or just smile, even when you are going through difficult times. At first glance, it may seem that their optimism is contagious and helps you cope with difficulties, but in fact they ignore your real feelings and problems. Stoicism teaches us that it is important to recognize all our emotions, including negative ones. Life is full of difficulties, and experiencing negative emotions is normal and even necessary for personal growth. When toxic positivists tell you to just ignore your problems and think positive, they're actually avoiding the emotional depth and complexity of life. Such an approach to emotions not only does not help, but can worsen your condition as you begin to suppress your feelings instead of experiencing them. How to deal with toxic positivists. It is important to make them understand that emotional granularity is the ability to feel and distinguish a wide range of emotions. It is normal that you experience not only happiness, but also sadness, anger, or disappointment. For example, if they tell you just be happy, you have health, you can answer yes, I am grateful for my health, but I am still upset because of the current situation, and this is normal. Such an answer will help you not only defend your emotions, but also establish a deeper and more honest dialogue. The sixth type is manipulators. These people often remain unnoticed in your environment, as their actions are not always obvious. They may use flattery, guilt, or deception to get their way. Manipulators know how to control your actions, forcing you to do what is beneficial to them, but at the same time you do not even realize that you are being manipulated. One of the most common examples of manipulation is when people use your guilt to convince you to do something. For example, your friend can say you are so successful, but I'm not good now, can you help me? Such manipulations make you feel that you have to help, even if it goes beyond your capabilities or comfort. Over time, you will begin to feel that you are being used, but it is uncomfortable to talk about it, since the manipulator always presents it as an innocent request. To deal with manipulators, it is important to learn to say no. Set clear boundaries and stick to them without letting manipulation influence your decisions. For example, if someone asks you to do something that you are uncomfortable doing, instead of giving in to guilt, you can say, I can't help this time, but I can offer emotional support. Thus, you maintain control over the situation, not allowing the manipulator to take advantage of your kindness. Finally, the seventh type of people are time vampires. These people constantly demand your attention and time, but at the same time they do not bring anything valuable to your life. It can be a friend who constantly distracts you with meaningless conversations, or a colleague who disrupts your work process with small questions. Time vampires literally suck your time and energy, preventing you from focusing on important matters. To deal with time vampires, it is important to set clear boundaries. Make it clear when you need to focus on work and when you can't be distracted. For example, if someone is prone to long phone conversations, suggest switching to shorter text messages or email for urgent questions. This will help you maintain control over your time and prevent other people from disrupting your schedule. Stoicism teaches us that our inner world is under our control, but the outer world is not. Time vampires try to take control of your schedule and attention, but you can always get it back by setting clear boundaries and rules of interaction. It is important to remember that your time is your most valuable resource, and you need to protect it from those who try to take it away forever. In conclusion, by following these recommendations and avoiding toxic people, you will be able to maintain your inner peace and focus on what is really important in life. Communicating with people who support you and share Stoic principles will help you not only maintain emotional balance, but also reach new heights in personal development. Write in the comments what types of people you have met in your life and how it affected you. Every story can become an important lesson for our community, so share your experience. Thanks for watching and support. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe to our channel to help us continue to spread Stoic philosophy. Your participation and commitment to Stoic principles help to form a community of people who strive for wisdom, courage, and a dignified life.